What's up guys, welcome back. OCG Metagame Breakdown for April 1st, 2019. As you know, their new format goes into effect today, or went into effect today. Again, to refresh our memories very quickly, their most recent ban list. As you know, Red Eyes Darkness Melt Dragon got banned. A couple of very good cards obviously went to one, like Armageddonite, Speedrod, Terrortop, Raigeki, unbanned finally in the OCG. Couple of cards went to two, like, you know, True Jacob Fighter, Dynamite Knight, totally awesome hero lives limited removal, and let's not forget, they still have Grass Looks Greener at 2, but you know, Fairy Tale Snow is perfectly fine at 3 in the OCG. Same for Damage Juggler, Danglong, Union Hanger, and last but not least, Solemn Warning. So all these cards are again playable at, you know, their respective amount eventually. Well, anyway, so metagame report number 0, I guess. So a lot of top performing decks here over the period of the last 2 or 3 weeks indeed, March 16 to March 31st, over 160 top performing decks indeed, and almost like indeed 29 tournaments. So that's a lot. One of the biggest analyses, I guess, from Road of the King here. All sources, by the way, will be in the video description. Ready for Duel, card launch your store, Road of the King, of course. New product release, we had the Endymion structure deck a couple of weeks ago, the V-Jump promo Rogue of Endymion, for example, a new DD monster, but well, most of these new cards weren't really, or didn't really have an impact yet, depending on the format. But the breakdown here, are we seeing a lot of differences? Well, the first difference that caught my attention compared to a couple of weeks ago is the increase of Thunder Dragons. You know, Thunder Dragons was declining like a lot in their previous format, but now it's a solid deck, as you will see in a couple of moments the reasons why. Their current top tier deck is Orkest, again for a very good reason. Even though the deck got somewhat weakened by the ban list. I'm looking at something like Armageddonite, but it has so many more tools at its disposal, so the deck is still super strong. And Solomon Great falling in place number 3. And then, you know, the other decks like Sky Striker, all the guys, Sephra, Magicians, Pendulums still going okay, I guess, but no mention of Endymions. Yes, indeed, Endymions not really going too strong for now, unless, of course, it's finding its hybrid with other decks. Anyway, so going for the first list here, going for Orkest. Orkest 2 builds shown here, and then a couple of things caught my attention. Here in this first build, as Road of the King mentioned, is, as you know, Armageddonite went to 1, that's like a huge blow, and Orkest players started to search out other engines, and as you see, in most builds, not really only Orkest builds, is Trickstars, and in this case Sky Strikers as well, is finding, well, it's getting more attention in people's main deck, and not only in Orkest, but as you know, the Trickstar engine, somewhat, well, it's like an indirect Mystical Space Typhoon for your opponent's back rows, but most importantly, it's giving you those 2 monsters on the field of going for your Nightmare Link, well, Cerberus or Phoenix, and then, you know, that equals Nightmare Mermaid indeed, and eventually that will annihilate, or, you know, enable your shenanigans featuring your Orkest card. So this build, again, quite interesting, eventually something that we might see popping up in the TCG as well. Especially because the OCG also lost the second copy of Speedrod Terrortop. The second list also caught my attention because of one monster, and that's Sengen. Sengen is finally next to, well, Altergeist, right? But finally, again, like getting a comeback, I guess, ever since it got banned. And of course, got the errata that, as you know, the monster searched off of Sengen cannot use its effect during the same turn. But here, in this particular build, in Orkest, searching out your, let me double check, indeed your Crusadia Arborea, if I pronounce it right, and then, you know, going for your Link 1 Solomon Great monster, and that eventually, because, as you know, your Crusadia monster does not, or it's not really the effect of special summoning to the field summoning condition, if I'm not mistaken, so immediately giving you the 2 monsters needed of going for your Link summon, like Fiber, Neil Fiber, for example. But again, the comeback of Sengen, ooh, the times, right, the times when Sengen Endymion was one of the best monsters in the game. And a second card that got my attention was Psychic Reflector, also in the main deck. You know, it's basically a debris dragon, also getting the 2 monsters on the field. This particular Orkest did run like the Assault Beast to search out off of a Reflector, and you know Reflector or Assault Beast searching out Assault mode activate, but it's basically a discard fodder for your Nightmare Mermaid eventually. So I quite like this. It's very similar to Mermails a couple of formats ago, when Mermails main deck Gen X Undyne for controller, but eventually sending, or you know, your chat synchron, or I want to say, no, not chat, but you know, chat synchron summoning off of Fiber, but Rosenix, Crystal Rosenix to the graveyard. It's, you know, it kind of raises your ceiling of the deck quite high. It gives you a superb and fantastic explosive plays, but still it kind of forces you to main deck those bricks. And even though, you know, your Psychic Reflector is special summonable off of Emergency Teleport or 1-for-1, you're main decking those extra couple of bricks. So, well, then again, you're main decking a lot of discard cards. Let's not forget Phantasme to put back those dead cards. Mulligan your hand. Ah, yes. Also very, very important. Thunder Dragons again are on the rise. I think, well, as mentioned here around the king, is the fact that Colossus is a huge beast. Floodgate with attack, Floodgate on legs, and if you see its other decks, competitors, I'm looking at Trickstars, the Sky Strikers, Sangan, Psychic Reflector, like all of those search cards. Salamand Greats as well, they main deck a ton of search cards. So, and I'm looking at Thunder Dragons with Colossus still at 3, by the way, not implying that it should get limited or should be limited, but still, Thunder Dragon Colossus is such a strong beast, beat stick, preventing your opponent from searching, and that's still one of the reasons why Thunder Dragon is still doing very solid in the OCG, or is again doing very good in the OCG. So again, people should probably main deck more main deck answers to these Floodgate-alike cards. Salamand Greats. Salamand Greats, well, somewhat declining this particular build up to main deck Psychic Wielder, for example, but eventually, well, for Vulcan the Divine and also for Coral Dragon eventually, but eventually he dropped or decided to drop the Wielder for for backup secretary again. Basically a cyber searchable off of Lady Debug, so kinda preferred over the Psychic Wielder. I guess it's fine, but if you look at the main deck, not too many differences between or compared to a couple of weeks ago. A huge amount of hand traps in the main deck, like 14 triple Maxi failures, etc. And let's not forget triple Impermanence and triple Call by the Grave, right? It's insane. But yeah, that's Salamand Great, right? So the conclusion is that, again, the format is quite diverse, it feels quite healthy, Zephyras and Pendulum Magicians are doing quite decent, and, well, no trace of Endymion, but I have a couple of Endymion builds ready, and again, within the next couple of moments. Some extra lists here, another tournament, over like 66 players, Pendulums got first place, sadly no Endymions, but Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, no clue when we would be getting that in the TCG, and I'm looking at those differences between TCG and OCG. I'm looking at Joker, Astrograph Sorcerer, Venom as well. I'm looking at the Pendulum Magician here, top left corner. The differences. Can I say nostalgia, or is it too early? It's probably too early. Salamand Greats here. I believe this is the second place, well, first place. Again, different tournaments, same day, right? Again, nothing too spectacular. Thunder Dragons as well. Old school Thunder Dragons without dangers, of course, not yet released in the OCG. Another tournament here. The quality of the pictures is a little less compared to previously, but nothing too spectacular. Again, a basic Thunder Dragon list as we see here. This is quite interesting. This is pure Mech Knights. Pure Mech Knights, no invoked. I have an invoked build ready within the next couple of moments, but again, locals level. Quite interesting, it has been like a long time, right? The Mech Knights. Pendulum Magicians as well, main decking the Gammas, of course, but, well, yeah, Pendulum Magicians, right? Still no Endymions. Another tournament here, we see Orkest again. Scrap Recycler is one of those cards that I mentioned in my previous OCG Metagame Breakdown. It's basically the same as Armageddonite, and I believe Scrap Recycler also triggers upon special summons. So basically Armageddonite to send, let's say, your level 1 tuner, your chat synchron from your deck to the graveyard. So basically another Armageddonite, right? Yeah, the extra deck, of course, and then we see Burning Abyss, multiple series if I'm not mistaken. It kind of faded away, right? Burning Abyss not really too relevant anymore in the OCG. We see Invoked, Invocation, Invoked, again, Manhunt, well, next to Scrap Recycler, Manhunt is also one of those one-offs, or those cards that can have like a huge impact, and we have seen it popping up in multiple lists previously, a couple of weeks ago, or like a month or two ago, but it kind of faded away again. But Manhunt, like a Snatch Stealer-like card, it's a card to look out for, especially when we get that in the TCG. And then we see, well, yeah, we see Infernoids, right, going up and down. Grass is still at 2 in the OCG, but again, it's not doing anything right. But again, this should be 40 cards, if I'm not mistaken, or is it 60? Again, Infernoids, but yeah, well, the other decks are just stronger, I guess. And last but not least, finally, we have 2 Endymion builds that were posted, and that's, well, when the Endymion structure deck got released a couple of weeks ago, early March, we have seen some builds popping up, and that's mainly because of Zephyros, the combination with Endymions and Zephyros, again, to set up your scale, for example, and some extra Pendulum fodder. But the other build we are seeing here, no Zephyros, but with, well, the more common way of running Endymions with Mythical Beasts. But still, we see the Odd Eyes Revolution, of course, but again, it's not doing anything in the OCG, so for now, it still feels like a gimmicky deck. It's well, maybe not consistent enough. It's a Pendulum deck, again, Master Rule 4 as well, but still, it's just not strong enough, maybe not consistent enough to battle it out at a consistent way, or at least on a consistent level against the current top-tier OCG deck. So, well, yeah, again, like final conclusion, the OCG is doing quite well, a very diverse form, with Orkest still going strong, Salamangreat, Thunder Dragons again on the rise, and Sky Strikers are still declining. One Kagari is not enough, especially because people are main decking DD Crow. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.